It is indeed a pleasure to have this privilege to play here for you. We intend to give you a very fine program, so just settle back, relax, and enjoy the moment.
What's up? Hey. Good morning. Good Thursday morning. I'm super ready. I don't know if I'm excited, but I'm super ready for today's show. It's starting to continue to grow on me. I'm loving my new theme music. How y'all doing? Super ready. Had a you know what, I talk about it often, and I want y'all to get to know me and understand how my mind works. That's why I share a lot of personal stuff, like personal mundane things, and like when I share about my sleep or my lack of sleep. You know, that kind of leads into maybe how the show might run. Not in terms of me being more or less prepared. It's more like my mood. Like I might be just less with the fuck shit a little bit. Just, I didn't mean to start out with the F-bomb, but yeah. So I think today's one of those days I woke up too early. Shout out to Josh Hurley. Shout out Josh for the recipe. I had this bottle of Uncle Nearest whiskey that I hadn't opened. It was gifted a few months back from my boss. And I don't drink whiskey. I don't drink that. Hey Justin. But I turned to Josh because I have a trash palate. Shout out to the homie Ramon. Ramon knows I got a trash palate when it comes to liquor. I'm like a little kid. And I think I enjoyed this cocktail that Josh helped me kind of create. And I think I enjoyed too much of it. It was so good. That shit'll sneak up on you. I literally have this much experience with whiskey. Oops. So yeah, lack of sleep. Yeah, I didn't get too much sleep. So I don't know if that, if the whiskey didn't really go too well with my melatonin. I don't know. But, so all that means is that I'm super prepared though. When I wake up early, I just start dog-earing, bookmarking pages of news and whatnot. So that's the good thing. And I'll probably just take a nap and be a little less grumpy. Hey, Mara. So yeah, I want to get into it. I want to just first say for real. One thing I did wake up with was like profound gratitude. I see like 3 new followers on Twitch. It's growing. Each day is growing. Y'all, when y'all in the chat talking up, speaking up, that's a great thing for me personally from an analytics standpoint, but it's also great just to know who people are and what they have to say. I love dissenting opinions too, so keep me honest in the comment section. But I really woke up with a lot of gratitude. Grateful for Jared, grateful for John Shields, grateful for just everyone who keep this conversation going with me here in terms of like, how can we make Charleston better? How can we demand more from our stakeholders, from our politicians? Like, how can we, and I want to do it in a fun way. Sometimes I just go off on a rant that is very angry, which is justified and just as much of a valid expression, of whatever. But yeah, I'm really grateful. And I'm really optimistic about some of the things that I'm dreaming up and some of the things that I really want to work towards. So I am grumpy, but I'm also grateful, which is typically where I hover. All right. So I'm going to first cue up let me put my glasses on, acting like I'm not 40. When I got my glasses, my real glasses, was the optometrist. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna need bifocals soon." I said, "How can you tell?" Because you're 40. Oh, you're close to 40. I'm like, damn, it's like that. I'm like, okay, all right, Target Optical, all right. right, let me switch the camera view real quick. So boom. So yeah, this is the current weather. Shout out to Jared Smith, someone I don't know. It's not the same Jared, not DJ Moldy Brain. But yeah, shout out to Jared Smith of Charleston Weather. 57 degrees currently, 89% humidity. Yo, it got crisp yesterday, not in a bad way. It felt comfortable toward in the evening. I think the humidity dropped. So today, we looked at this yesterday a little bit too. So today's forecast, 82 degrees, increasing clouds. So still rain free. That's what's up. That's what's up. I couldn't take a walk yesterday, but I took a little tiny drive. All right, it's so much news, y'all. I said this on my live yesterday that got 40 views. I think that's what makes me grumpy, is like, it's the same thing that made me grumpy last year and the same thing that made me grumpy the year before last. Last year I pumped out so much content. I was consistent. I had to be, because I was creating this daily update show. It took me hours to produce. It took me hours to put together and edit. And I would have it all ready before 7:30 a.m. every morning for on radio. And it didn't grow the way I thought it would, right? And so I'm saying this for a reason. I'm going through all this news yesterday. I'm pulling out all these stories like this one right here that I saw here on Yahoo News. And I'm just going through things, and I really do hope that like people are going to, and I know I want to chill out with some of this preoccupation with people, you know, either they're with it or they're not. I'm gonna chill out with that, but I really do need for people to hear me on this, because not only like is the apathy is so it's difficult. It's difficult to keep creating and to keep doing this work. You know, and so I just wanted to say that. I think that's why I'm a little grumpy, a little too. Jessica, you said grumpy but grateful. I'll make one of those wood farmhouse signs. Don't you dare. That's like an SNL skit. Please don't do that. If you do, it'd be funny. It's so funny. You could do a wine and sip, make me a painting or some stuff. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of lean into that whole like, y'all, we gotta do something. This can't be a spectator sport. We got to get in this together. All right, so there's a lot of news going on, a lot. So we got the GOP. I'm going to flip through these tabs real quick. I didn't even open the Post and Courier this one. That's crazy. My reflex wasn't even to open the Post and Courier because there was so much like national. Like this is Bloomberg equality. Sorry, they got an equality bureau. Sorry. Sounds so like incredulous. Then we have this story from Market Watch. Is this a CNBC subsidiary? I think so, right? Market Watch? I'm not quite sure. All right. So then we have, glasses are so foggy, like a serial killer. In a bad mood. Okay. Oh, that didn't help. All right. So, and then we have this. Well, this was WJCL. I don't know what this ABC affiliate is. I don't know if this is North Carolina or South Carolina. I don't know if it's like one of those like bordering. But there was so much. I'm just gonna click through all these. I kind of want to. I don't want to talk about Deshaun Watson, not because I'm afraid, but I was trying to see whether or not there was. I know Dabo Swinney. He finally responded to all the allegations, and I know there's a Clemson connection. Only reason why I didn't want to touch it was because was it relevant to our state? That's the only thing. But Dabo responded, so we might click on that. That story is just bananas. It came out of left field. I'll be the first one to say that I was like, nah, he couldn't have did that. Nah, because you never heard anything from him. And then I got real quick on some like, stop it. Cut it out. Stop, you know? So I feel for the victims. And Rich Eisen, and we're going to talk a little sport. We're going to start incorporating more sports. Rich Eisen had an interesting take that I thought, you know, made a lot of sense. These athletes, when it comes to Deshaun Watson, real quick. When it comes to Deshaun Watson, when you're such a high profile athlete, you like a LeBron, like let's say a Tom Brady, people who are notoriously famous for investing in their body, from taking out insurance policies on parts of their bodies and all of that, right? you don't have a bunch of different people in that circle in terms of your who you entrust your wellness goals and fitness goals to. Like, you don't have 20 women, 20 different massage therapists, 20 different 40 different people. You don't have that. You have a dedicated team, especially when it comes to stretching, mobility, and all that other stuff, chiropractic things, acupuncture. You're not just like, that's not something that has a high churn rate. And I know that sounds like a very like weird like detail, but it's bruh, you went to the massage therapist a lot. That's when I started to think, like, not recently, not yesterday, but even to me, I didn't have like the my intuition was saying that is weird. You going to a lot of different massage shit. When I go to Soka in North Charleston, I stay asking for the same two people, unless they leave. And I'm just Mika getting a $90 massage. Jeez. That was weird. All right. I queued this up too because this is an important race for me personally. WHYY, it was my public radio and public television affiliate when I lived in Philly for 10 years. And my friend is my friend Theo. Theo is running for mayor. It's not his first time running for mayor of Camden. But I was just so proud to see my friend. He's kind of pulling me into his race. So I will be helping him out as he runs for mayor of Camden. This is a really high profile race. And there's going to be so many interesting, hey D, it's going to be so many interesting parallels with or lessons that I'm going to draw from this story, from his race and what's going on in Camden and Black power and with disinvestment and all that other stuff, Black political power. So much going on. Me and Theo we talk ad nauseum about what's going on with the democratic machine. And that's the thing I really want people to start doing, is start becoming more critical of the democratic establishment, right? So reason how I got there is because when I met Theo, funny story, I met Theo on a date years ago, like when I worked for the Secretary of State of New Jersey. I met him on Match.com, and it was a horrible mix. It was just horrible. When you hear me talk to him, y'all probably think it's an abusive relationship, like I'm abusive to him, but it's not. We just oil and water. I don't know. We more than that. We something combustible. Baking soda and peroxide or some shit. I don't know. That goes together. No. Baking soda and vinegar. Anyway, but no, this race, like how Theo's been so vocal about the democratic establishment, about the machine, and any type of concentration of power on any side is not ideal. Right. And you can run into some problems. So I love that Theo's campaign is somewhat of an insurgency campaign. That's why I'm really interested in helping him run and help him develop his communication strategy there. I even picked out his shirt that he's wearing for this article. But yeah, just to have interesting stories to tell to bring back here to Charleston. So I just wanted to kind of share that with my followers. So shout out to Theo Spencer and Camden holding it down. Shout out WHYY. All right. Yeah, so there's mad news going on about this hate crime legislation. We're going to get to that almost immediately. I see Nancy Mace made a little...
Let's go to Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina.
She made a little news, a little noise. We're going to get to that clip. Just waking up my tabs. All right. And yep, this is a story from The Hill that was published yesterday. Democrats see opportunities as states push for new voting rules. I said this during my IG live last night. Georgia's sexy. Georgia's that girl right now. Everyone's getting up in arms because Delta, because Coca-Cola, because everything, right? Because Stacey Abrams. We got Georgia things going on here. We've got a full-on assault on our democracy going on here. And, I'm not being an alarmist, but this is something that I've been, talking about ever since the Women's March rally that I helped spearhead, right? Ever since then, I made it about electoral justice and ballot access, and we have to start training our focus. And this article does mention South Carolina in its reporting, so we'll get to that real quick. Also, there was an interesting tweet. If you follow me on IG on Charleston Activist Network, in my stories, I shared Bakari Sellers' tweet about okay, let me just do it real quick. So Bakari Sellers shared this Facebook post from Victor Dabney, a lawmaker, an SC legislator, who just went on this racist tirade about why he will not be signing on to vote for the hate crime legislation, right? And so Bakari tweet got some traction, and then Jamie Harrison chimed in here, as you can see. So we'll talk about that real quick. It's in my stories, and there were some other interesting responses to Victor Dabney, and then we actually have a clip from some reporting locally. But let's hop into the Post and Courier real quick, which you will be accessing with your library card. All right. So county, this is the digital edition we're looking at. County will start taking applications April 12th. What are we talking about? Charleston County prepares to distribute $12.4 million in rent and utility assistance. They word. Taking applications April 12th. They word, right? All right. So Charleston's planned $22 million pedestrian bridge. We saw this reporting on the paper yesterday. Hate crime bill passes easily in South Carolina houses, boosted by business support. All right. Bill eliminating training to openly and publicly tote a gun passes in the Senate. Wow. Bill eliminating training. Wow. Right, so let's hop over to the e-edition. So if you're walking through your CVS, your gas station, your Blue Water, your Walgreens, maybe this is the paper you're gonna see on the stands. Let's see what they prioritize. Let's see what they want their largely white, older, physical paper readership. Let's see what they want them to see off the bat. Because basically that's how the paper is framed and the news is framed. Here we go. Carnival cruises, Carnival delays cruises again. Okay. Yeah, we're going to dig into that. I'm not mad at that. Dorchester Road may get overhauled as areas booms. Wow. And that's axe throwing? What is this? Jeez. Interesting front page picture. State proposes ways to ease traffic jams. Yeah, you need some rail. You need some light rail or something. I need some infrastructure. Here goes the rental assistance story. Very important. Especially given that all these moratoriums are just like boop gone. Hate crime legislation easily passes. Okay, so at least they put that on the front. Like, I just don't understand why they don't put like the grittier things in the middle. They just refuse to do it. Like, I don't give a fuck about no axe throwing. What we doing? I don't know. I mean, household kids carrying guns with no training. This state is just amazing. All right, at the very bottom of the newspaper front page, we see Nation News. Police officer. The way they cover the way they caption the Derek Chauvin trial is very. Police officer never took knee off Floyd's neck. Expert says. Great. Tiger Woods driving more than 80 miles per hour. I don't really care about that. Gamecock Smith ready to. Okay, so that's the front page of your Post and Courier, right? Yeah, make sure you use your library card to read the paper moving forward. All right, we're gonna close out of that, and we're gonna hop over to some news. I'm gonna start with State House news because that's what was buzzing, right? Camden is within Victor Dam. Oh, really? Camden, well, you talking about Camden, South Carolina? Because I was talking about Camden, New Jersey. Are you talking about Camden, South Carolina? I know I mentioned Camden this morning, Justin. I hope I'm not confusing people who watching. I was talking about Camden, New Jersey. Hopefully, I wasn't confusing nobody. All right, so let's hop into Mr. Dabney's comments. Let's go.
Tonight, a call for a GOP lawmaker to resign following comments he made about a hate crime bill that passed the House today with bipartisan support. In a Facebook post that is now no longer public, Representative Victor Dabney explained his reasoning.
I mean, say it with your chest. You gonna post it? Don't hide it.
for voting no on the measure. He says his way of life has been vilified by the left. Quote, "It's our whiteness and our straightness that keeps getting in the way." Later on in the post, Dabney says, "We are the reason that blacks can't seem to succeed in our society."
I mean,
he finishes by saying that if the bill passes, it will lead to hate speech laws. The statement has gotten at least one Democratic
so he don't want hate speech laws.
lawmaker asking.
My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't have did that. WHYY is a Philadelphia NPR affiliate. So no, Camden, New Jersey. I'm so sorry. And I was saying that I was going to bring some of the about like how to keep the Democratic machine accountable, take some of those lessons and bring it into the discussion here in terms of how do you critique a Joe Cunningham. So when Joe Cunningham does throw his hat in the ring, right? How do we critique him? How do we start asking tougher questions? How do we make him a better candidate? How do we make Trav a better leader? How do we make the Charleston Dems better leadership? It's all about, so that's why I brought that up. So just to clear that up, sorry about that. But anyway, back to this guy. What are y'all saying here? His way of life is the KKK or something, right? Exactly. What are you talking about? And why is he against hate crime speech?
For his resignation. The bill that passed today would add stricter penalties for violent crimes if it could be proved that the victim was targeted for falling under protected classes.
So I have mixed feelings about hate crime legislation, and I've been having an ongoing conversation about hate crime legislation because I don't believe in the carceral state. I don't believe in jails. I think we can imagine more just ways of dealing with how people cause harm. I think we can imagine a place or a society where we don't rely on the prison industrial complex to solve our problems, our societal problems. And so when someone runs afoul of a law, or if someone causes harm, right? I'm not saying that there shouldn't be justice. I think what I would like to see is a response that looks more in line with my values as an abolitionist, which is all about repair, righting the wrong, repairing the harm, right? And what justice looks like. And so I think the penalties that come with the hate crime legislation are something that I'm just not, they're not, to me, they don't even solve the issue, right? If I'm always telling you guys that cops are not in place to stop and prevent crime, they're there to protect property, right? I'm letting, that's exactly what cops are doing from its inception, from slave patrols here in Charleston to what we have now in modern day policing. Policing is all about protecting property. Before it was patrolling black bodies were property, right? So if I'm telling you that's what that is designed to do, how does that help people stop breaking and entering, right? How does that help people like KKK Corey? How does that help KKK Corey stop stealing your car, the electronics in your car in Somerville? How does that happen? Yeah, I was being funny. But yeah, how do you prevent that from happening? And so I don't think that jailing someone or putting them on probation or introducing them to the criminal justice system, I don't think that that's like a panacea to stop or prevent these things from occurring, again, right? I just had to slide them in there, Jessica. I just had to do it. No worries. I got excited. He was going to help me. It's all good. It's all good. Sorry about that. That was my bad. I knew that was going to be like a little bit of a curveball. I was just excited to see my friend in a story yesterday from WHYY. I was just so excited. Because I get to be an operative. I get to be a strategist, and I'm not seen as now. Fuck that, right? I am a strategist. I'm a strategist here. I'm a strategist when I step over the state line in Georgia. I'm a strategist wherever I go. But you know what I mean? I don't get to work actively. But I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to here with some candidates on my own terms and how I feel. But I don't get to really exercise that skill set here as boldly as I will in New Jersey. So that's why I was so excited. I get to go back into the fray again, and that's the T-U-H. That's some shit. That's some real politics. Woo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the open carry legislation real quick.
The state Senate could soon look at a bill that would allow people to openly carry a firearm without a permit. It passed the House chamber today. It's called the Constitutional Carry Act of 2021 and passed with a vote of...
They love, like, just, they take the Constitution and founding documents and they just, like, you know, this theory and this new, like, notion of patriotism and constitutionality. It's really interesting what they're doing and how they weaponize it to support asinine things. Like, why wouldn't you want someone to be trained to carry a firearm, to carry something that could actually, that can cause harm, that can fatally wound someone?
69 to 47. A few weeks ago, legislators passed a bill allowing open carry if someone has a permit. But this bill removes that provision. 45 states allow open carry. According to the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, about...
That's bonkers.
Half of the states allow it without a permit. Lawmakers had strong opinions on the bill, from concerns about racial profiling to the people of the state afforded the right to protect themselves.
That's a bad idea. Far worse than the bad idea we had 3 weeks ago. It doesn't make my constituents any safer. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't make South Carolina a better place to live or work or raise a family.
Especially if you're a woman, where they're killing women, where partners are killing women, like at astounding levels still, even though we're out the top 10 finally. This is the first time since like the 90s. But especially for women.
And I would argue it even makes it less attractive to visit.
Anytime you can advance the Second Amendment is good. It's a good policy. And it's so important that we want to...
It's not advancing the Second Amendment. It's giving it a fucking HGH shot.
Multiple avenues to go over to the Senate. So we wanted to give them multiple options, but also send the signal of this is very important. The House has moved on this with two strong...
I wish people really knew how many like men's rights activists are actively in this state working to keep the guns in the hands of abusers. Like, let me see if I can find it. Let's let this play real quick.
Second Amendment bills. These are the first bills that have come through like this to the committee in the last 25 years. And in the current state of the country, this is, there's an outcry from the grassroots and our constituents. They want to protect themselves.
Y'all got the guns already. Y'all got arsenals. No one's taking your guns. No one is taking your guns. None.
An amendment was added that would stop the state from enforcing federal gun control regulations.
Wow. I don't know what happened.
There's also a provision that lets businesses and employers post signs telling people that open carry is not allowed at their locations.
I think that's what we're going to see. I think much like the mask ordinances and whatnot, you're just going to see businesses like, nah, you got to wear a mask to be in here. And so what people going to do with the gun? Like, they're going to pull out the gun? Like, it's going to get crazy. But yeah, no, you can't open carry in my store. Nah, I remember my boss. I had a boss up when I worked at Trader Joe's in Pennsylvania, worked for Trader Joe's in Pennsylvania. And I was in this one store location, and the store manager was training me for something. And a guy walked in, because sometimes Pennsylvania is like a southern state just up north. That's the first place I got called the N-word. Was in Pennsylvania. But anyway, so guy walks in with a gun, and my boss was like, go tell that guy that, you can't. Hey, Brit Math, go tell that guy he can't carry a gun in here. I said, you must be out your fucking mind. You think my black ass is gonna walk up to some white guy and tell him he can't tow heat? You must be out your mind. Jesus. All right, what you say, D? Another mass shooting in Rock Hill yesterday? I can't keep up. This is crazy. Wait, hold up. Let me find this real quick. South Carolina. Let me see if I can find it. Men's gun rights it was like a whole like faction of dudes that meet and talk about how to keep guns in the hands of men. It was like this whole YouTube like presentation. No, it was, oh my God, it was old as hell, but not too old. I think it happened when I was here. Oh my God, I'll find it. Let me not do this, because it was just wild footage to kind of stumble across, and it was all about, hey, you've got a DV. If you've been arrested for domestic violence, if you've been incarcerated, you have rights to get your gun back. You shouldn't have your gun taken from you. I'm like, what? Now I need to go to this Rock Hill. My God. Are you serious? Let me see something. I guess I gotta keep my Charlotte Observer subscription, because let me see today. Let me see. Wow, what?
We start with breaking news on what investigators are calling a mass shooting in York County. 5 people are dead and 2 of them children. Good morning, I'm Ann Wyatt.
I totally didn't see this. Like I didn't watch any news. I was last evening.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jason Harper. This story has been developing all night in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Fox 46's Destiny McKeever joins us live from the York County Sheriff's Office. Destiny, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Just heartbreaking, disturbing details coming here out of York County. We know that police got to that scene around 4:45 yesterday, but since then they have not gotten a lot of information. They're still working. So as a result, we're still working to find more information as well. Take a look. Here is as close as we were able to get to that scene yesterday, last night, when police were still working their investigation. It all happened on Marshall Road. We know 2 young children are among those 5 found dead inside of that home. Police got that call again around 4:45 yesterday afternoon. They showed up to find the bodies of 70-year-old Dr. Robert Leslie and his wife Barbara Leslie, along with their 2 grandchildren, Ada and Noah. There was also a man named James Lewis at the home. He's 39 years old. He was doing some work there. He was also found dead. He was the 5th victim, but there was a 6th victim who suffered a gunshot wound but was taken to the hospital. We do not have that information on the victim's name or anything like that. Meanwhile, detectives say this is very...
Well, hopefully that leads to clues. This is heartbreaking.
Very unusual for Rock Hill.
It's just, it doesn't happen here.
But it do happen. It's just like what we think is going to happen. So this happened, and now we're saying don't get trained. Don't even put the one provision of training. Don't even put that in place. This is happening. For real. Like, the Dylan Roof thing was enough for people to just come on. Let's go. And it really showed me how much disdain this state had, the disdain the people in power have for common sense gun regulation, not eroding your Second Amendment rights and that shit like that, none of the other rhetoric. But after Mother Emanuel, how Palmetto State Armory continued to put up those tasteless billboards, and how they constantly went after Obama, use a lot of advertising dollars to just like take a, hey, what's up, new follower. But the like Palmetto State Armory, like, we get it. You want to position yourself as pro-gun. Dude, this is the South. Gun shops ain't going out of business. Like, I know this, right? Rod and gun up the street by the Krispy Kreme ain't going out of business. So I didn't know why Palmetto State Armory, which is probably one of the larger or more noticeable gun retailers in the country, in the state, like, why they have to continuously punch down. To me, it felt like a punch down, especially following Mother Emanuel, especially knowing that Dylan Roof got his hand on a gun because of a background check loophole. And the way they doubled down after that, that showed me that they weren't responding to Obama's policies. They weren't responding to a leftist agenda. They were responding to the fears that Black people had about being safe in this state and being able to exist. And then white men, like, and when it comes to domestic violence, all oppression is linked, y'all. So when it comes to domestic violence and explicit, virulent racism, right? The two responses we get, and we saw this with Victor Dabney, the responses you'll always get from the white male ruling class is, no, I want my gun so I want to be able to shoot y'all whenever I want to shoot you, woman. I want my gun so I can shoot you whenever I want to shoot you, Black person, Black man, Black boy, Black girl, right? That's the response. No, I don't want hate crime legislation because I want to be able to talk my shit and call you an N-word whenever I want to, Black citizen. I want to be able to do that with impunity. That's what this all is. It's not about the Second Amendment. It's about white men maintaining power. It's about that white male aggression, that white male violence that I talked about with the Damien Young video, right? That's what this is about. This isn't about your fucking Second Amendment. There's more guns than people in this country. Get over it.
And so,
but for this is not, and maybe statistically it's not York County. Maybe statistically it's not Rock Hill. Maybe it's not statistically, but baby,
it's one of those strange things that a lot of people are going to have a hard time understanding, and we just hope that everybody understands that we're going to do everything we can to try to figure out why this happened.
And police this morning are just asking people to bear with them as they continue to work these details to find out what is the motive in this.
So D, you said that you heard that they apprehended him. This was posted 2 hours ago. I'll see if there's a more recent video. I don't want to say too long on this one because I want to get to other news. But I am interested to note they did apprehend him. And to your other question, D, this is why my response to what's going on is not, hey, let me jump on to every town. Let me jump on over to Moms Demand Action. I think Black people should definitely own guns. I think Black people should educate themselves. I think Black people should train themselves on how to use a firearm properly. A lot of Black people in the South already do on some level, but I'm reading some historical fiction, and a lot of the characters or the heroines in these stories, these Black women, they're toting heat. And they don't like guns, but they know how to use them, right? And so, I know it's historical fiction, but it's based on a lot of behaviors and histories of Black people with guns. And I do think that Black people need to have guns. And I do know, I hate that whole, well, we saw it in history with the Black Panthers. As soon as the Black Panthers demonstrated their Second Amendment rights, Reagan was like, oh, hold up, wait, whoa. The NRA and them was like, wait, hold up, wait, they got guns? Oh, they tired of getting terrorized by the police? Oh, they tired of the police coming and shooting them at will? And they want to take up and protect themselves against a police state? The same shit that KKK Corey and them talk about? The same shit that the insurrectionists were spouting on January 6th? When the Black Panthers did it, we saw how folks reacted. So I don't want to give lazy analysis, but we know what's going to happen if Black people start toting heat openly. You know what's going to happen. It's going to put I don't believe that Black people should mimic what white men do. That's not the aspiration, is to achieve the same type of freedoms as white people. Nah, that's not the aspiration. I think we should train ourselves. I think we should do it the way we've been doing it. How we used to have our shotguns, hidden in certain bureaus by the front door, in certain lock boxes and safe places. Teach our kids gun safety so they know not to play with that shit. But I think us open carrying puts a bullseye on our back. Philando Castillo. Us having a gun doesn't, and showing the gun does not make us safer. Now, us having it, that can potentially make us safer in some instances. I don't think more guns is the solution, but yeah, I heard about that group. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. There's one of those groups though believe in a Black ethno state, and I ain't with that. There's one group that's all about like, yeah, let's get trained on guns, and there's one group like, I want a Black ethno state. I ain't with that, because I see some groups here in Charleston trying to mimic that. So respond to a show of force with another show of force, and we ain't built that way. We not built. We don't got that infrastructure. It's the same thing with the black influencers trying to emulate white wealth and scamming taxpayers to do that, to achieve that. Greek freak, Todd Rutherford. Same thing goes with that. When we try to emulate that, we're gonna end up with the short end of the stick with that. But I do think that black people should have firearms, but they should be discreet. I said this before. I said this summer. A lot of people talking about, I got this gun. I got this. I saw all these videos of black men going to the range and posting them on IG, and them shooting up this and that at the range or in the forest here in the Low Country. Stop filming yourself with guns. The federal government at that time were quite literally building cases off of social media posts and implicating people in a number of crimes and indicting people, real federal indictments, right? That still haven't been worked out to this day, right? So I don't think that we should be openly like, hey, I got a gun. Everybody got guns. Like, Chip Rossetti from Boardwalk Empire. You got a gun. He got a gun. Everybody got guns. I don't think we should be doing the Chip Rossetti. I don't think we should be doing that. But I do think we should be discreet and we should be familiar with it, because our very survival depends upon that. And that's what our foremothers and our forefathers had to practice as well, right? Yeah. Okay, they're not in that. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for showing, Old Man Rand. Thank you for sharing it. I appreciate that. Y'all click the link if you can in the chat. And yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I start having this conversation a little bit more. But this is bonkers. It's sad to hear that, and see how these things work together, right? These attitudes towards guns, and this current legislation, it all works together. Yeah. So that was the most recent from this. So 5 killed, 1 hurt in a mass shooting. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is 1 hour ago. So let me go to this one, this WCNC clip.
Back to that breaking news from the top of the
real quick, y'all.
Show, a community shaken to its core. Absolute tragedy this morning in Rock Hill. It's a story we've been following for hours.
Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Here on WCNC Charlotte, and overnight, we've learned the names of 5 people shot to death, including a beloved local doctor, his wife, 2 grandkids as well. The York County Sheriff's Office says they were called to the scene on Marshall Road just before 5 p.m. last night. York County officials also say a 6th person was shot. They're in the hospital with serious injuries. Now, there's a lot to unpack this morning, and we will get to Richard Devane down there in York County in just a few minutes. But first, we want to verify for you what we know at this hour and what we.
I like this. I don't see this that often at the local news level. Let's know, what do we know? Let's verify some facts.
Frankly, do not know at this hour. And first things first, our sources. This is where we're getting all our information from as of this morning.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all know I love. This is the reason why I started this Twitch channel. Y'all know I love good reporting. This is how you do it. Cue the music. This is how you verify information. And this is how, I fucked up with the Colorado shooter. I assumed the dude was white, and we find out nope. Let's get some facts.
Morning. Anything we tell you is coming from these 2 entities, the coroner down there in York County, as well as the sheriff's department. We know 5 people killed, including 2 kids. The victims, Dr. Robert Leslie, who's also a well-known author, written something like a dozen books as well, his wife, and 2 grandkids. A 5th victim, a person working there at the house, as I mentioned just moments ago. A 6th victim in the hospital. We don't know that person's condition at this.
You're right, D, right? We get through COVID, we survive COVID, and we got to deal with this type of white supremacist violence. For real. And it is white supremacist violence. Well, I don't know the shooter. Don't know the suspect. Oh, wait. Suspect got in. Let's see. Hey, thank you, Old Man Rand.
Point. I want to know.
I'm going to stop reacting with glee when we're discussing tough stuff. I'm sorry. I just get excited.
What we know at this point, that suspect has been identified, according to the York County Sheriff's Office. But keep in mind here, they're also saying no threat to the public. 2 interesting statements, and we want to help you walk through what this means. They say that, yes, they know who the suspect is, and yes, that person is no longer a threat to you or your family. But what we don't know in these 2 statements, if that person's in custody, if that person's being questioned, if that person has past, perhaps. There's a lot we don't know between those two statements. So again, we don't know the status of that suspect, and perhaps most importantly this morning, we don't know a motive.
That's how you report, y'all. I'm sorry. That's how you do it. You don't need a fancy WCBD, WCIV, Live 5. You don't need a fancy touchscreen. You know what I mean? You don't need that. But this is how you do it. We need to step. I'm sorry. I love me some good reporting. Ooh. And like, you don't need, like, give me the facts, and then I don't need commentary. I don't even, just give me the facts of what we got going on. What are the shit? This is how you do it. I'm sorry. That's just, yeah, WCNC, like my sources. Yeah, that's sad. Thank you. Not thank you, D. It's like sad news, but I do appreciate you, D. This is what this is about. The live stream is a team lift. So I need y'all just as much as y'all probably, look to hear. I don't know if y'all look forward to hearing me say anything, but I need y'all. So thank you for making this content better by like just keeping me abreast.
South Carolina.
I'm not gonna get to Nancy Mace. Okay, why does her hair? Okay, I'm sorry. This is petty. This is not misogynist either. I just want to know where the flat iron went and why she looked like an extra from House on the Prairie. All right, Little House on the Prairie. Anyway, we'll get to that. Let's get to some local news real quick regarding the hate crime legislation. We heard about the Victor Dabney reaction to hate crime. Let's go right here to Carolyn Murray. Let me rewind it.
Hate crime legislation is moving forward in the South Carolina State House. State House of Representatives passed.
Real quick, I thought she had her midriff out. Like, it took me a minute. I was watching on my phone when I saw this. I'm like, oh, it's just a brown belt. Carolyn, you need a buckle here or a different color brown or something. I know people in the comments like, is her stomach out?
The measure in an overwhelming majority. News 2's Lexi Moore heard from a Lowcountry lawmaker to find out more about the bill and what's next for this piece of legislation. Lexi.
The hate crime bill would make punishment to existing crimes if they're found to be fueled by hate of a specific group. If passed, a victim would have to prove without a doubt that they were targeted based on race, color, religion, sex, gender, sexual orientation, or because of a disability. If they can do that, it could add up to $10,000 or 5 years in prison to any sentence. One local lawmaker tells me the shooting at Mother Emanuel Church shows that racism is still alive in America, and the state needs to do a better job of protecting its citizens from things like this ever happening again.
We have to send a message to our citizens.
Y'all know how I feel about Mother Emanuel. It being a political piece, I am not opposed to, but if you're gonna use it, you better make sure in that hate crime legislation there are specific and very, very real protections for Black communities against white supremacist terror. If you're gonna keep using it to push the legislation through, to use it as a thumbnail image on, on your stuff, make sure that within the hate crime legislation, it specifically provides protections against hate groups like the Proud Boys, like the militia groups that have been very, very popular here in this state. So that's my whole, if we're going to use it, and if we're going to tap the shoulder of a Gilliard, we're going to tap the shoulder of a Kempson, a Pendarvis, whomever. You're going to use the Black struggle and the Black plight or the Black experience. You better make sure that there's some blackity black provisions in that legislation.
Citizens and people throughout the state. That we're willing to carry South Carolina into the future to help fight hate, because hate is on the rise, and we have to understand that. We have to get out of this mode of operating in fear.
The House passed the bill today by a vote of 79 to 29. It'll need one more pass one time tomorrow. One state lawmaker, Victor Dabney, posted on Facebook calling on his fellow lawmakers to vote no to the bill in a racially insensitive post. We'll have Wendell Gilliard's response to that.
At least she called it racially insensitive. That's because that's exactly what it was. So that's some good reporting there. Good B-roll. Y'all know how I feel about the B-roll now, right? Let me see real quick. There was another news story. Jesus, that Rock Hill thing threw me off. Oh, this lawsuit right here.
New at 6 o'clock, we are hearing from a Low Country woman who is suing Governor McMaster over his return to work.
Okay, yeah, the return to work. So there was a news article. No, not there. Here we go. No, not this one. No, where's it at? I might have reduced it. It was a return to. Yeah, here it is. Here, Bloomberg Equality. So the Bloomberg Equality piece that I was gonna queue up earlier. So I'm gonna blow it up a little bit. So yeah, this was written the other day. South Carolina back to office order draws suit over equality. So this is making national news right here. So here's some of the bullet points. If you go to this article, y'all, this is again Bloomberg Equality. Google it. But you could put in, South Carolina back to office order, put in Bloomberg, put in ACLU. So 2 bullet points we have right here. ACLU says directive burdens women, Black people, and the disabled. Also states that state says COVID cases are down, child care centers are open. So let's go back to Carolyn Murray's report, or Channel 2 News is reporting on this. Let's hear.
Order. She says the order is dangerous and unsafe. Now, this comes as more employees are returning to the office. News 2's Riley Benson spoke with those behind the lawsuit filed in Richland County Court on Tuesday.
This state is so hostile toward its workforce. Like, it's so anti-labor force. It really is. It really is. Like, no protections for people who work hard.
The lawsuit claims Governor McMaster's order discriminates against certain groups.
Why is he on the CFC campus?
Of people while putting others returning to work at an unnecessary risk to COVID-19 exposure. One of the people behind the lawsuit is an employee right behind me at the College of Charleston.
Oh, Tamika, shut up and listen.
The March 5th order requiring state employees to return to buildings for Deborah Myhall, she says it left her with few options.
You're telling me that I need to choose my family over my work, which I will have to do. So I will have to lose my job.
The bill has faced criticism from people like Myhall, a College of Charleston employee, calling it dangerous and irresponsible.
Put working families, working parents.
So it's sometimes I lose perspective that folks who work on this college campus and college campuses throughout the state, they're state employees. So they're the first ones that gotta go back.
In a position where they were being affected negatively.
Those critical of the order are pushing back, filing a law.
Okay, side point, you say these people are capable of working from home? Absolutely.
Lawsuit in Columbia against Governor McMaster saying the bill goes too far.
To get child care is really...
I hear you. I think this pandemic, that's what I'm saying. I said this, I reposted an IG Live rant this morning. I shared it again. Let me say this. I shared it again in my stories. And part of my rant in there was about how we're just going to return to quote unquote normal after things open up and everyone's fully vaccinated. And I'm like, why is anything going back to normal, especially the way we work? Why is that returning back to normal? These businesses, a lot of them have learned that, hey, we don't need to pay, these exorbitant fees for either rental properties or, I don't know, whatever property. A lot of them have downsized and just say, hey, you can telecommute now, I don't know why, especially on a campus, which, yeah. D, you asked, why do they have legislation just let the business handle, right? It's funny how they want government to jump in on some things, and then they don't want government to jump in on other things. And yeah, where is that fiscal conservative republic? Like, yeah, come on. Good job, comment section.
Challenging and expensive and not something that you can pull off in a matter of weeks in some cases.
In a statement released from the governor's office, Director of Communications Brian Sims says in part, quote, "It's ridiculous to think that requiring employees to go to work is discriminatory in any way. Employees were given weeks to make any necessary plans for a number of contingencies, including childcare." For My Hall, she says she's hopeful the lawsuit will open Governor McMaster's mind on a decision with far-reaching impacts.
And does something in order to either make this go away or significantly change it so that it's more caring.
Now, I reached out to the College of Charleston. They say the college is working with employees on a case-by-case basis when it comes to issues stemming from its return to campus to work plan, which they say complies with Governor McMaster's orders. Reporting in downtown Charleston, Riley Benson, Count on 2.
That's interesting. Yeah. So again, I'm gonna flip back to that piece. Yeah. So head on over there and read more about it. I like that the article too, you can listen to it. I like more and more publications are doing that. More and more publications, and also other tools and apps that you can download, like Autumn, I think. Yeah, because I listen to a lot of New Yorker articles that way. Sometimes I just can't, I'm multitasking or something like that. So yeah, check that out. I thought that was worthy of a share. Let's see right here. I wanted to see just we already watched this.
Bacon Park Golf Course,
oh my God.
Since 1959. Original.
Just because I'm pissed off, I'm grumpy. We're not going to talk about, I guess we just click on this real quick. Dabo Swinney. Is it Swinney or Sweeney? I be calling him Sweeney. I don't know. All right, so he has comments about the Deshaun Watson allegation. I guess someone asked him at a junket.
Certainly, I mean, we're disappointed to see, his name in the news and all that's going on. But, look, hey, I love Deshaun Watson. He's like a son to me, and that's how I love him. And as far as all the legal stuff and all that, that'll all, take its course and all that stuff. So certainly can't.
It's like, when you look at people who earn $9 million a year, like Dabo, when you finally hear them, and it's not following a game law, so you're not talking about X's and O's. But when you hear them comment on things like whether or not athletes should get paid, black male athletes having tattoos, or a former player caught up and currently embroiled in what seems to be one of the biggest sexual assault scandals in professional sports in quite some time. I expect someone, shout out to the ad, I expect someone making $9 million to have had some sort of formulated response, something other than I love him like a son, off rip. Like, what the first few things you utter matters, because that's what it sets the tone. It's what people hear. It's probably what people are going to remember most. You can love Deshaun, and I'm not saying he shouldn't love Deshaun. You can love Deshaun, but you could talk about loving accountability. You can model that in this instance. And granted, we don't know all the facts. We don't know how this is going to shake out. But just chill out with Dabo is just so unimpressive to me in terms of just, and he's not unintelligent. Dabo is extraordinarily smart, right? But he doesn't rise to, we don't make people like him, people of his ilk, people that we've placed all this undue importance on, we don't make them show up in this moment the way they need to show up in this moment.
Speculate or comment on any of that stuff. But all I can tell you is, I've known Deshaun since the 9th grade, and man, he's been nothing but exemplary.
Okay.
In every.
Y'all have to remember, Dabo went off the rails this summer too. When COVID was like, nah, sit your ass down. He lost his mind. Him and the women's Baylor basketball team coach, they lost their mind. They lost their mind when that
area that I've ever known him in. 3 years here as a player. I think I had a chance to yell at him one time. He was 5 minutes late to a team meeting.
So that means that he can't be capable of sexual assault?
He overslept for, and that's it. So, I mean, this is
and I know this is tough for the black community. I never address us like that, but I'm just going to do it right now. But I know because a lot of black sentiment has been, and I acknowledge this at the beginning, at the top of this stream. I even arrived at a conclusion nah, I can't be, never heard anything, right? And it's just not, I think we just gonna have to get to the point, y'all, where I just realized that we just not stopping at 8:30 no more. My alarm always goes off at 8:30. It's like, wrap it up. We ain't wrapping it up. But yeah, I don't. Let me just let it play. I know black folks are struggling with this, but you can be a nice guy and be a creep. We see it every day. How many of us have had bosses that were super dope bosses, but would chase you, like, especially if you're a girl, if you're a woman girl, but they would chase you around the office. You know what I mean? Make all these lewd comments, suggestive comments, but they were a great boss. Make sure you had your time off. Like, great boss, affable, but they would just constantly just say real rude, nasty shit. Like, it happens.
That's the Deshaun I know, and I can only.
He's so invalidating the allegations, and I know there was another plot twist yesterday, another plot twist or something. One or the other. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that, bruh, you was moving. I'm not invalidating any of the women that have come out, especially not that young lady that whose account was so compelling to me. The tearful account was so compelling, and I do believe that Deshaun seeks out massage therapy for some other type of need.
You know, base my thoughts on my experiences with him, which have been, you know.
Just say, he almost started out okay. Just say you're disappointed in this news being in a headline, and like others, we're waiting, to see the outcome. But more importantly, we don't want to lose sight of sexual assault. Like, say something. I don't know. It's a bunch of nothing. Let me close that out. Let me see real quick. I'm almost done. I'm gonna let y'all go. I know y'all gotta go to work and stuff like that. Everyone doesn't have the luxury of watching me bloviate. Oh my God, there was something I wanted to watch. Let me see. So yeah, check this out too. I'm just gonna lob this up as suggestion. This was published yesterday by The Hill about Democrats. Again, it's really interesting to watch what's happening in Georgia. I'm gonna hop over to YouTube TV before I get off today. And talk about the resumption of normalcy. We've really got to start applying pressure. So this is where I kind of, the grumpiness, right? And my stomach is rumbling, even though I had off-brand Lucky Charms this morning that were very delicious. Magic Stars, was it? Oh, it's not out. Magic Stars from Target, right? Okay. Yeah. 40 massage therapists. I talked about that at the top of the stream, Shady Amoeba. That's a lot. And usually athletes of his caliber don't have that many damn massage therapists. Yeah. And people don't want to talk about like the massage parlors and stuff like that. It's really tricky. I worked one of my first jobs in Philly, managing a profit center, Target, that was next to two strip clubs, massage parlors. People who I used to manage would go to the massage parlors after work, and I mean, this is real stuff. It's complicated. It's not easy to get through. So I don't know. I just don't know what was consensual, what was not. It don't look good, and I believe victims. Anyway, sorry, I'm just commenting on the comments. But yeah, so part of my grumpiness, I go all over the place, y'all. Please love me regardless. Part of my grumpiness is like, we've got so much work to do, but how do we get people who were so sympathetic this summer, how do we get them back into the fight? Like, and I'm not begging nobody, right? I'm not even making that plea, but how do we get people to understand that this fight right here, especially against voting, the voter suppression here in a Section 5 state, is very real. I'm gonna scan down to the part. I kind of laughed at who they spoke to from South Carolina. Because I know y'all think I'm a hater. So basically, when you read this article, though, it does outline what's going on in Georgia. They also talk about, okay, let me just read this real quick. The party's top officials and activists have taken to describing a raft of fresh voting rules in Georgia as a 21st century iteration of the Jim Crow laws that enforce racial segregation and suppress the votes of Black Americans throughout the post-bellum South. Party leaders have also sounded the alarm in fundraising emails, because that's what the Dems is doing. Hey, D-Trip. All right, D-Triple-C. All right, casting the new laws proposals an existential threat to to Democrats majority. This is a hell of a fundraising tool. Y'all have gotten the emails, right? All right, and they're closely watching states like Texas, where similar proposals have opened up new fronts in the battle for voting rights. So then they hop down to South Carolina and they go to their one person because they only know one strategist, and it happens to be a man, even though black women delivered Joe Biden the victory, right? So they go to the one black man they know. It's a motivating factor for voters, but black voters in particular. Antoine Seawright, eye roll, a South Carolina Democratic strategist, said, they know every election is life or death for us at this point. No, wait, hold up, bruh. All right, if Republicans can limit our participation, they limit our ability to survive, to thrive. He always rhymes, y'all. That wasn't the kind of analysis that I needed in this article from The Hill. Yup, shots fired. Antoine is not the only cogent voice on this issue, y'all. Talk to Bree Maxwell. Where's she at? Why nobody tapping her, hitting her up? Hit up Bree. She know what she talking about. Hit up Maya Slaughter. She know what she talking about. Jalissa from the Kamala campaign. Where's she at? She know what she talking about. It ain't gonna be no rhymey bullshit. Get out of here. You can read the pen. I'm sorry, but anyway, shit's going down in the South. Shit's going down in our state. Here I go being grumpy cat. That's who I am. Anyway, what's this? Well, who said something about human trafficking? Okay. All right. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm sorry. I jumped in and out. All right. So I'm gonna close this up. Like I said, local lawmakers or people who have connection to South Carolina, like Jamie Harrison, like Bakari Sellers, birds of a feather, responding to hate crime, whatever. Here's Nancy Mace. Let's just go ahead, and I'm going to go to the YouTube TV before I hop off. All right, here we go.
She's concerned about some of the tax hikes in that infrastructure plan. So many, she says, that they...
She's like a scary antebellum doll. Like a haunted doll.
Could reverse the job gains that we...
Let me stop. I just know how much her appearance is part of the plan, so I make observations.
Have been seeing.
I'm full of shit, too.
Maybe stop them altogether. Congresswoman, very good to have you. Thank you.
Good morning, Neil. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, okay. Massage parlors. I got you. Thank you, old man Rand.
This morning.
So let's talk a little bit about what of those tax hikes bothers you the most, or is it collectively all of them?
Well, the $2 trillion infrastructure package that they're talking about, that they're proposing to the American people, has very little to do with transportation and infrastructure. And to do it, this will be the largest tax hike in American history.
Sister, sit your ass down. Y'all don't got a tax leg to stand on after y'all tax breaks for the wealthy. Sit down. Go somewhere. How'd she go from there's no transportation to this is the biggest spending plan? They keep doing this fear thing. I'm not scared.
In the middle of a pandemic, I can't think of a worse idea than...
I gotta say this, though. Putting on my operative hat. The way this chick goes up for the jump ball, and by jump ball in this instance, media opportunities, the way her and her comms team make sure that this girl can box out and get up for that jump ball and get in front of that camera. Joe Cunningham never did this shit.
And that right now.
And that's why he's at home stroking mousse through his hair and getting y'all all aroused and ready for his whack ass run.
Time and unemployment is at 6% is not a bad place to be where we are in the pandemic. But if we had some of these blue states safely reopen their economies, it could.
Baby girl, have you read a paper from California? Did you see what Cuomo's doing over there to keep his job, keep his ass in office, legalizing weed and shit, bruh? Like, it's about to be 420 open on both East Coast blue and West Coast blue, baby girl. Get out of here.
Be much, much better.
Well, you know, a lot of the Democrats and those pushing the president go even further on tax hikes, Congresswoman, have said this is
Talk about it, old man Rand. Talk about it.
the exact time to push raising taxes because the economy is so strong and it could absorb those body blows. What do you say?
Well, they're going to be taking money from the job creators, which is going to mean fewer jobs for fewer people at lower pay.
What are you talking about? So the taxes going to go up, plus they're spending too much. So they're spending too many trillions, and tell me how spending and taking, I can't keep it straight. I can't.
And this is not what we need to do for the American people. We still have millions of people who are out of work that are desperate to get a job here in the state of South Carolina.
I know one place that's desperate for some workers to come back, Food and Bev in Charleston. The motherfucking restaurants cannot staff up. And I hope when the workforce does return to the bars and to the restaurants here in this tournament, I hope they come and they start asking for more, because that's why they're not running back. They ain't running back to bullshit wages and conditions.
Carolina, our unemployment rate's been hovering just over 4%. We have employers that are desperately looking for employees right now, but because the federal government has incentivized unemployment through larger federal unemployment checks, they don't want to go back to work because they're making more money at home. So we've got to incentivize.
What are you talking about? Work has changed. This is the thing. Again, the rant that I reshared today. Nothing should go back to what it was before. So if your wages were booty juice at the fucking place you were working at, yeah, you should be trying to find a better situation for you. If you found a different type of childcare solution for your family in the pandemic, yeah, you should be trying to pursue those things, right? Like, why should we go back? Y'all not letting us have a competitive living wage for people who are working those lower wage jobs. You're not upping the minimum wage, right? So why should people go back to bullshit? You're right. You absolutely right. The fucking 40-hour work week is a fucking fraud. The 40-hour work week is bogus. And I think that we just need to have this conversation. We're seeing what's happening in Alabama with Amazon. We need to have a real honest and robust conversation around labor rights, labor advocacy, and what that looks like. And so when these people tell you, go back to work for what? For peanuts? This is why Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott were so vocal at the beginning of the pandemic about the size of the subsidies, because people were finally having their needs met on a very small scale. Now, remember, stimulus payments and shit like that, them shits had major gaps in them. I have friends in other states, blue states, whose unemployment just kicked in 2 weeks ago after weeks and months of no unemployment benefits, right? So stop acting like this has been like a fucking staycation for millions of Americans. People had to figure it out. They had to figure out childcare. They had to figure out virtual childcare and virtual learning. They had to figure out, okay, my job now can let me work from home. I've got flexibility. So now I can get my kids to and from school safely, right? So like, why would you expect people to just come out of a pandemic without different types of learned behavior? Like, stop it. This shit, I don't even know what these graphs is doing. What are these graphs doing? Huh? Federal government spending. Are we... you gonna try to be cute? Look at 2010. Try to be cute. When did Trump get in office, y'all? When did he get in office? Trying to be real fucking cute and cut the spike off. You see how they cut the spike off on the far right of the graph? The shit went up under your motherfucking president. Get out of here. Okay, let me read the comments real quick. I know I need to get the fuck off this fucking Twitch. All right, the comment. Hey, Evelyn. You up, Evelyn? I didn't even see your comments. Hey, Evelyn. Yours just got approved. Evelyn, you're one of the people. Yeah, yours just got approved. Shady Amiva, you says Bezos came out today and said supporting the tax hikes. Wow. He can afford to support it. Shout out to his ex-wife though. She with the shits. For real. There's a line in this country. Some jobs just get paid more. Exactly. Old man Rand, you said I work for a company that bought back 11 billion of its own stock, right? With that tax cut, didn't invest in training, didn't invest in nothing. Absolutely, y'all are kill. I love this chat today. Regarding FNB and who wants to go back to shitty pay and having to deal with unruly tourists. Come on, right? Not wearing masks, oppressive ass humidity and heat and shit. Now you got the tables outside. The humidity starting to creep up. Mosquitoes is out. The no-see-ums is out. And I'm supposed to go up there and fucking sweat over your fucking clam chowder. Get out of here. Who the fuck? Look at that graph, right? Damn, that graph goes down in the 90s. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I was born 1980. I'm an 80s baby. I swear, the first 16 years of my life, coming out of Reagan's bullshit now. Man. Oh, that income, my mom and pop's earning potential right around Clinton. Woo. Them Christmases was banging. Them Game Boys, them Nintendo, them Super Nintendos, them Jordans and them Barclays, them starter jackets. What? Them boom boxes. What? We adding the Disney Channel to the what? We got Disney Channel, Dad. Oh, Dad, you being sneaky and putting HBO in your room and think we don't know it, and we go and watch it when you ain't home. Oh, we had it great in the 90s. 90s was just like, who the snacks, the summer snacks. What? Yeah, I'm supposed to risk my life over minimum wage for real. Look at y'all labor warriors. Let me play this more from the Scary Doll.
You could never actually
play more of this clip from the Scary Doll.
Get away with this in the private sector.
I love how they thought they was cute by cutting the graph off. I love it right here, cutting it right off.
Because in business, we reward hard work and we incentivize hard work.
No, we don't. No, you don't. Unions do.
You know, Congressman, while I have you, if you don't mind switching gears, just to get your thoughts on yesterday's scary incident on the Hill. You were there and spoke out very forcefully after the January 6th storming of the Capitol. So there must have been a sense of eerie deja vu here. Very different, I grant you. But what did you think? What are you thinking now, even when it comes to how guarded the Capitol?
Ew. Going for the jugular there for ratings, huh? Oh, yeah, this was on April 5th. Okay.
Capitol should be or cordoned off to traffic. It might have to be. What do you think?
Well, the vehicle barriers did work yesterday, and this horrific incident, I was very concerned when it happened. The Capitol went into immediate lockdown, and I was worried about my staff that were in the office and all the staff, everyone working on the Hill yesterday. Is very scary. But these right now, and I think we're seeing it in many places, but this appears to be, and we're learning information every single hour right now, but appears to be someone who had some mental health issues, was mentally ill, his family and friends worried about him, and you know, COVID-19 has exacerbated mental health issues.
Oh my God, I shouldn't even let it rock. Listen, so now it's COVID-19 has exacerbated mental health. Okay. Is COVID-19 real or is it not? Come on. Oh my God. Okay, so Shady Mika, you said you make 5 times what you made as a landscaper. I'm just, what? Come on. For real though, and like, it's like pay people a wage to stay healthy, stay home, right? It's crazy. I don't get it. All right, I'm gonna exit out of this real quick. I wanted to get, okay. All right, I'm gonna give myself 10 minutes. I got a job. Talk about wages. Jesus Christ. Wait, old man Rand, you said Nancy Mace acted all scared the first day. I know. Where's all that? Where's that energy? Keep that same energy, Nancy. All right, let's go to let me go to my YouTube TV subscription. Why don't I just bookmark it, y'all? Tell me why I don't do that. Tell me why. Tell me why I like hunting and pecking in the morning. Tell me why. I have no clue. All right. Because I don't know if I'm going to use it in the morning. But you should have a bookmark. Okay. Talking to myself. Mika, have a bookmark. All right. No. I should set up a family group. Give my brother this so he can cancel cable. All right. So I want to go to the library. I want to go to CBS. Look at my library, y'all. You see my business? I'm all over the place. All right. Resume from last watch. So they just before I came, I was watching a little bit, and they were talking about the Masters, and I got 10 minutes, so hopefully it'll start playing. But immediately it started making me think about we took on a second PGA event, right? Not just what's going to happen at Kiowa, but we've got another event coming. Oh, this thing don't want to play nice today. Probably an omen. You know what? We could do this. Let's do this.
It is, you know. All right, ahead with the protests planned at the Masters over Georgia's new voting law, we'll go to Augusta and find out why some critics of the law do not support calls to boycott the state. But first, it's 7:18.
So I want to get to that. I want to get to that. Let's see if we can get to that if it plays nice. Because I'm telling you, y'all, like it's, I don't understand why people are just like, okay, and I get it. You know, I get it. I want to go to the beach and just let my hair down and stuff like that. Let me see if we can get it. We can get it. Go back. Let's see.
Going around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Staying dry today, even tonight dry, but very mild. Overnight low temperatures right around.
Let's see.
That happens walking while black in this country.
All right, your local news coming up next.
Jesus
Pleasant
Christ.
area. Want to take a look at our traffic flow map and zoom on into Long Point Road. Mount Pleasant police say part of Long Point Road from Whipple Road over to Snowden Road.
Okay.
He plans to protest at the Masters with other religious leaders.
Georgia and the Masters have a history of discrimination.
Here we go. Why are we not talking like this?
Lead to suppression.
Why we not talking about this? Let me mute it. Why are we not? I'm trying not to make the block hot. Y'all, here in Charleston. But why we not doing this with the PGA coming? Why we not going after some of this?
Like Delta, Coca-Cola, and our parent company, Viacom-CBS, have also condemned it. But some, like voting rights activist Stacey Abrams and media mogul Tyler Perry, whose studio is in Atlanta, have come out against boycotts that could further damage the state's economy.
So these are two capitalists. This is where me and Stacey part ways. This is where I jump off the Abrams Express. I ain't never fuck with Tyler Perry. Clearly hates black women by his depictions of black womanhood in his movies. But this is where the capitalism bullshit, this is where their class analysis fucking runs, just goes bleh.
Economy. Mark Strassman is in Augusta with a.
You need an economic component to your work. You need to apply pressure. And see, it's one thing. See, this is where the politics come into too. So the conversations with Delta and the conversations with Coca-Cola and maybe Home Depot, whoever, those conversations, those backdoor conversations, those blue smoke filled rooms, oftentimes are filled with people who have just political things to advance, right? The people need to speak up. This is why you have to support the grassroots movement and grassroots movement leadership on the ground in Atlanta. I'm not taking my cues from I'm lifting you up, Stacey. I'm with it. I'm all with it when it talks about the voting access and ballot access and electoral justice. But what you're not gonna do is not going to take this moment pregnant with possibilities and tell people don't do that. This too far. No, you need an economic component. It's one thing that we largely are told to dismiss. What's going on here? Hold up. Let me see. Yeah, Stacey is a fundraiser. It's one thing. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting notifications on my end. It's one. I'm sorry, I got distracted. I got some notifications on my end here. I'm gonna make sure that my stream is. Stacey's a fundraiser for sure, right? Stacey's a fundraiser, but like it's just like one thing about the MUSC strike. we're not taught about the economic boycott, right? So when Chris Kalin this past summer said boycott King Street, she didn't say that like it wasn't something that's a unfamiliar sentiment. Withdrawing the dollar is how you make change. And it wasn't just a bunch of black women laborers taken to the streets in Charleston demanding better wages at the hospital. It was black women standing up to the police, getting beat by the police. It was black women refusing to work. It was black women also refusing to patronize stores, not just ones in Charleston proper, but other stores who came out and supported MUSC. The economic boycott is paramount. It's critical to the success of movements. We can't just move like politicians. We can't just move like capitalists, right? And whether you're a capitalist or not, I'm not having that discussion, but I'm going to tell you, this is where the limitations of capitalists come in, because I can't capitulate to your sensibilities. I can't capitulate to your interests, to you moving like a motherfucking shareholder. I can't move like that. When you literally have people like, this is the moment to really see some real power at the grassroots level, not just power at in the legislature. That's just one type of power. We have to teach black people and marginalized communities how to build power across multiple platforms. We just do. What's going on? Skip frames detected. All right, so I don't know if this my signal or something's off, but yeah. So KCJ 18, not the next movie doesn't want them to hinder her campaign dollars. Talk about it. Let's play this real quick.
A look at the debate. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Anthony. The Augusta National, of course, has...
And that's exactly what this is. This is the same thing with Biden. Biden, with a stroke of a pen, could have ended this federal student loan debt. Didn't do it because of his donors, right? Could have upped minimum wage. Didn't do it because of his donors.
Seen controversy before. It did not admit its first black member until 1990 and its first...
It's on a plantation.
Female member until 2012. And so now, once again...
And that was who? Condi Rice? Was that Condi Rice that was the first female member of Augusta?
This year, the club faces the spotlight for something other than golf.
The return to glory. It's arguably the most prestigious tournament in golf. And since 1934, played at the Augusta National Golf Club in Georgia. Despite growing controversy over the state's new voting law, Augusta's chairman Fred Ridley said Wednesday the tournament will stay put.
We realize that views and opinions on this law differ, and there have been calls for boycotts and other punitive measures. Unfortunately, those actions often impose the greatest burdens on the most vulnerable in our society.
They always do this. Hey, don't boycott because we hire a bunch of black people to perform really low wage labor and really tough, hard work. It's a fucking sleight of hand. It's a fucking trick. It's a fucking trick. You build more power by standing up for yourself.
And in this,
it's a moral contagion. It's a moral contagion. They don't want what's going on in Alabama. They're gonna paint that as a loss and anything but a victory. But when workers speak up for themselves, if anything, the black working force, the black and brown workforce of Augusta should fucking get up and start organizing.
In this case, that includes our friends and neighbors here in Augusta.
Voter rights advocates say the new Georgia law makes it harder for minorities and poorer people to vote and will lead to suppression. The law shortens the time frame for requesting.
Talk about it, Evelyn. It's not, when he said punitive, my senses went off too. You heard that? It's punitive. It's not punishment, it's a consequence.
And returning mail-in ballots, and limits where drop boxes for those ballots can be located, and at what time voters can access them.
I believe it seeks to turn back time to a period of Jim Crow.
AME Bishop Reginald Jackson is a critic of the law. On Sunday, he plans to protest at the Masters with other religious leaders.
Georgia and the Masters.
If these motherfuckers here in Charleston don't pull the same thing here at Kiowa, y'all full of shit. Because y'all definitely could be doing that. Stop playing white supremacist whack-a-mole on the other battery. Rita and them gonna hold it down. Stop playing fucking whack-a-mole. Get your ass out here and fucking stop some shit happening. Boycott at this motherfucking Kiowa. I'm gonna say it explicitly. Boycott this motherfucking PGA tournament coming to motherfucking Kiowa. If you don't fucking stop playing whack-a-mole, stop holding press conferences and shit. Go out and do some shit and make your fucking point. Make a fucking point and stop and get some courage and organize and get this going. Don't call me. I just gave you the game for free.
Masters have a history of discrimination, and Georgia is probably the capital of voter suppression. One of the reasons why we're going to the Masters is because in light of its past history.
Republicans have said Democrats are misrepresenting the law.
Oh yeah, well, exactly. So we know that the Masters is an annual event, and you definitely know that either if their workforce isn't lower wage college students, it's also immigrant folks on visas and other types of exploited labor. Remember now, them greens don't those golf greens don't stay green with no college student help. There's some brown folk keeping that shit looking lush and looking like CGI.
Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp criticized Major League Baseball for pulling its All-Star game from the state.
They ignored the facts of our new election integrity law, and they ignored the consequences of their decision on our local community.
Professional golf's greats and newcomers weighed in this week, though none went so far as to suggest the Masters should be moved.
Of course they didn't.
Cameron Champ, one of the only current pro players of color, criticized the law.
It really targets, certain black communities and makes it harder for them to vote, which to me is everybody's right to
He is white passing. I don't know what he is.
vote.
For local businesses hit hard by COVID, the Masters brings much needed relief.
Every single year, the world comes to our city for the same reason.
Which is why the mayor of Augusta doesn't think moving the tournament would be an effective solution, even if he's a staunch critic of the new voting law.
I anticipate Augusta National Golf Club will lean into the issues.
You full of shit. You full of shit. Get out of here.
Of social and racial justice.
Yeah, they lean into that. Yup. You can coax them in like a bear with some breadcrumbs or a trail of sweets, right? You just coax them on in to justice.
Or injustices in this case.
It's called the Masters. It's on a plantation.
As it relates to voting, and say, how can we use our influence and to move that art towards justice?
Last year,
I might hate when a white lawmaker misrepresents Kingian values and views, but I hate it. I hate it when black lawmakers do it too. Arc of justice. You gonna invoke that phrase? Anyway, yeah. When a big signature event comes to your town, let me switch my camera view because I gotta go to work. When a big signature issue or signature event comes to your town, it's leverage. It's a time and it's a moment for you to exercise something politically. It's a time. It's not. That's Augusta's mayor. Yeah. It's a time for you to you've got all the cameras on you. You've got a lot of attention. You've got a built-in audience. It's a time for you to use that as leverage toward a goal. So whatever the goal is, it's time for you to use that. It's nothing I can say. And we've got celebrities here. We've got people who are coming back to Charleston. I played the Darius Rucker piece yesterday, right? So we saw that they're wooing these celebrities to come out and woo people back to Charleston, woo them back to Myrtle Beach, wherever, right? So we know that there's an audience here. There are people here who are craving, it's not craving, but people here who are going to be here to enjoy things. But yet it's time for us to start applying pressure to these people and making sure that they know that, yeah, you know what? Tourism is great. Golf is great. Tennis is great. All of that. Volvo Open is happening right now. Nobody's doing shit. And I just really want our organizers here to stop playing whack-a-mole, stop waiting for the latest controversy, and start building out a strategy on how you're going to take advantage of all these cameras. How are you going to take advantage of all this influx of people here? How are you going to disrupt the status quo? How are you going to show up? How are you going to show up and use this moment to make a greater point about what we're dealing with coming out of the pandemic, right? I want to see shit. The Post and Courier said there was 12 leaders to watch, 12 black leaders to watch, right? Right? When they snubbed me, and grateful, I'm grateful for the snub, but also bitter. I can be both. You had 12 black leaders to watch. I'm the meme. I'm the Shirley Caesar meme. I'm watching 12 black leaders to watch in the state. You got PGA coming. You got 2 PGA events coming. State opening up. McMaster opening up everything. Busting it wide open for everybody. Putting us at risk. Brunches is resuming here in downtown Charleston. What y'all gonna do? 12 black leaders? What we gonna do? And I'm not coming at anyone like on no personal shit. Like, what we gonna do? 12 black leaders. What we gonna do? Right? Like, what we're going to do. And like, I really do, beyond the work, a lot of those folks who are featured, beyond the work that they already do. And I'm acknowledging that. There's time for us to be progressive and to be ahead of the things that happen. Right? It's time for us to start asking for more and demonstrating more. But I really do want to talk to the apathetic, disaffected, indifferent, white liberal class that have checked out since last summer. I'm talking to y'all. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Y'all just want to go back to life as normal? You're just gonna go to pages by black people that make you happy and don't think critically about your complicity in this? What are y'all gonna do? I'd love to see 1,000 white girls in yoga pants fucking stop traffic on fucking John's Island. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Make a point. I'd love to see it. Fuck allyship. I need some accomplices. I'd love to see it. Are we wearing masks in SC? No mandate. Thank you for answering, Tressica. No mandate on masks. Yeah, it's spotty. It's spotty. I will say, again, I took a little ride Saturday morning. I was encouraged. People wearing masks outside walking. I hadn't seen at the beginning. I literally was out there offering people masks and they were like mad at me. Got your yoga pants ready? I'm just saying. Everybody wants to go back to brunch. You're even more engaged now. Well, that's you, Old Man Rand. Thank you. Hopefully you can encourage some other people down here because it's crazy. Old Man Rand, where are you from? I don't even know who you are. What state are you in? Real quick before I hop off. This is crazy. Now, I hope we do something. Here, I need to wash my hair. I hope we do something. I'm waiting for the reply. If you want to share where you're from, what state, what region. But yeah, y'all stay informed, keep watching. I'm gonna be watching that Rock Hill news and other developments. It's a lot of news to consume. Take your time with it, be patient. But let's not get complacent, right? Indiana, let's not get complacent. All right, let's keep working toward some goals toward equity, toward justice. Right. Okay. I got you. Thanks for contributing to today's conversation too. Y'all really lit it up. This is one of my favorite live streams to date. So thank you so much. Hopefully service was good. I got a couple of notifications in the middle of that, so maybe it just didn't record. But I will talk to y'all tomorrow morning. Oh, tomorrow we got a guest. We got a guest tomorrow. Amethyst in the house. Sign up for that newsletter. Head over to IG, Charleston Activist Network on IG. Sign up for the newsletter. I sent out a newsletter yesterday. I've been annoying the fuck out of y'all with this interview because I'm excited. All right. So tune in tomorrow morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock. We're gonna talk to Amethyst. All right, via Zoom, like we did with Stephen Bowden. More guests to come too. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Have a good Thursday. Enjoy that sunshine wherever you are.